Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another Mrdoctorwhofan13's video, and this has taken a very long time to do. I've been busy. I've been really busy. Anyway, tonight you're getting a double first impressions. You're getting two separate videos, two separate first impressions on two separate episodes. So, first we're going to start out with Doctor Who Series 8, Episode 6, The Caretaker. Written by Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat, directed by Paul Murphy. Now, going into this episode, I was expecting... There goes my phone. I was expecting an okay episode because Gareth Roberts in the past, he hasn't done anything exceptional in Doctor Who, but he's done some, some decent stuff. He wrote The Shakespeare Code, which was really, really good. The Unicorn and the Wasp, which is an underrated gem. Planet of the Dead, which sucked. Closing Time, which was watchable. Sorry, The Lodger, which was watchable. And Closing Time, which sucked. So, what did I think of The Caretaker? Meh. It was okay. There isn't really much I can say about it because, like Robot of Sherwood, it's really just filler, to be honest. It feels like filler. Despite the fact that this is when the Doctor and Danny meet for the first time. It's filler to describe it best. But, first I'll just start talking about it now. Peter Capaldi, as usual, was great in this story. I really prefer this light-hearted side of the Doctor much more to the one we saw in Robot of Sherwood, where he was fighting with a spoon. That was just silly. Jenna Coleman as Glara gave a great performance, and I really think she was written pretty well in this story. You know, how she was just sort of trying to manage the Doctor and Danny, between each other, and if you hear that, that's just my dog barking. But yeah, so Clara I thought was pretty good in this episode. It was pretty interesting to see her manage both her lives. Although there were a few problems with this story. Courtney Woods, for example, I'll talk about her more in Kill the Moon, but she was a bit annoying, and this was the only episode where she actually got any sort of screen time. And, well, prior to Kill the Moon, but I know she was in a flashback in Deep Breath, and she was in one small scene in Into the Dalek. But The Caretaker, yeah, she was watchable. The villain wasn't very threatening, to be honest. I mean, it had a good introduction, but we didn't learn anything about it. What are its motivations? Why does it want to take over Earth? Why is nobody safe? Like, the build-up and the promotional material for this episode was that nobody is safe because of the villain. And what do we get? An average villain of the day. Just there to fill the villain spot, because we need a villain. Now, one area I think this episode stumbled in was the main point was basically the biggest problem with this episode was the Doctor and Danny, their relationship with one another. Now, when the Doctor first meets Danny, he is hostile towards him. And he assumes that just because he was once in the army, he was a PE teacher. And for some weird coincidental reason, because the plot requires him to, I think it was Stephen Moffat who did this, the Doctor despises Danny, basically. Why? Because he's a soldier. Now, this would work if it was the first time that the Doctor had met a soldier. Allow me to list off some of the best soldier friends and companions that the Doctor has had in the past. Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. Martha Jones. She's on unit, so she's a soldier. Captain Jack Harkness. At least three previous soldier companions and best friends he had. That should be enough for him to at least go, oh yeah, I've known soldiers in the past, yeah, this guy could be anyone, you know, I won't judge him if that's... But no. Despite Samuel Anderson and Peter Capaldi's great performances, the Doctor was a dick to Danny because the plot required him to be a dick. What? Stephen Moffat. It's his just because mentality that drives me insane. This isn't a new thing. Stephen Moffat has had this problem for a while, and I'm blaming it on him because, you know, it seems like something he'd do. Like Asylum of the Daleks. Why was Oswin able to erase the memories of the Daleks? Just because. The Snowmen. Just many examples of just because in that. I need to say more. Alright, yeah, sorry. Why does Clara say pond? Because the plot requires her to. Okay. Listen. Probably, by the way, Listen is probably the most overrated Doctor Who story ever. Just saying. It's not terrible, but it's pretty bad. Sorry. Why did the Doctor and Clara influence Danny's life? Just because. Because the plot required them to. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. But yeah, so but having said that, Samuel Anderson was great as Danny Pink, and the way Danny's character was written, he was really, really good, and he'd make a great boyfriend, no homo, because he knows exactly what he's doing, well, you know what he needs to do to make this relationship between him and Clara work. He clearly cares for Clara, and him not being able to help her, that's understandable. Some people may say otherwise, but I thought, you know, this guy's great. He knows what he's doing. He knows very well what he needs to do to make this relationship work. So yeah. Also, the direction by Paul Murphy was pretty good. Actually, no, it was really good. He did his best with what he had. He previously directed Robot of Sherwood, which was also very well directed. And I forgot what I was going to say now. Sorry if I stumble here, but you know, it has been over a week since The Caretaker aired, and I'm more knowledgeable on Kill the Moon. I just want to get to what I thought of that story. And also, The Caretaker's just Phil anyway. Also, yeah, that there is that one famous scene where the guy that the Doctor thought was Clara's boyfriend because he looked like the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. That was nice. That was nice. The comedy in this story was brilliant. I was never bored. There was always something making me laugh. even if the PE teacher joke was overused. Like, it was funny the first couple of times, but after like the 10th time it just became unfunny. So yeah. But overall, The Caretaker, it's not a bad story, but it's not one of the best of Series A, I think. If I had to give it a rating, it'd be... it marginally hits a 6 out of 10. No, I haven't said much about it, but there's not really that much to say. So, hang on. How long we're 10 minutes into this. Tell you what, I'll do my first impressions on Kill the Moon in a separate episode. Is it not a separate episode? In a separate video. So yeah. Can't really say much about The Caretaker, it's just there really. Although we are at the halfway point in the series, so I'll see you next time for Doctor Who Series 8 Episode 7, Kill the Moon.